Hello, good morning, everyone. I've been on these videos. I don't know if, well, I know it's God. God has just been putting stuff on my heart so much lately, and I just want to share it. So, sometime today is Saturday. Sometime today, I'm going to do a junk journal with me video. I'm not sure in which one of my journals. Also, sometime today, I will be painting my black planner over there and getting that set up for a creative planner. I'll be doing that live on Instagram. And I'm working on some girls. So, I've said this on Instagram, but I'm not announcing it like I'm not making a big deal about it because it's really for the people who have just been there. But I don't know if I'm really trying to get one out this month. But every month, and I'm going to try to do it at the beginning of every month. I'm going to send out kind of like a newsletter. I don't really know what to call it. Like a letter of encouragement, where I'm just going to, I have a whole notebook over here just full of devotions that I've written. And so maybe it'll be just like a letter of encouragement or a devotion that I've written, along with a scripture. If I don't add a scripture, then I'll add some kind of like declaration, something, and then a couple of girls or whatever. But some sort of my art to go with it, just as a payback to the community, who has really been there for me through some of the most craziest times of my life. And so I'm working on that today. There's things like household things that I want to work on, but since it's not like a mess, like crazy a mess, I'm putting that off for the week because I'm really trying to get a lot of my creative goals met this weekend. There's at least a lot of things that I want to get started this weekend, and so the weekends are for creativity. I still want to cut out some time every day, whether it's in the middle of the day, the end of the day, but to some degree every day I want to be creative. Whether it's coloring in my coloring Bible, it's doing an art journal page, it's working in a Bible journal, whether it's just working on an index card. However that is, I have a list of things that I want to work on. I want to be doing something creative every single day, no matter how small or how big it is. Even if it's just going and adding little bits of paint to my journal here and there, or just taking a glue stick and a handful of paper and going and sitting down and just gluing stuff into my journal, whatever that is. I want to try to be creative to some degree every single day. And just, I want to keep myself motivated. And on top of that, I want to keep myself in the Word, reading the Word absolutely every single day, but also being creative in the Word. Because reading the Word is great, it's amazing. Like, I need that. That is my spiritual food. But being creative in the Word or with the Word is like a whole nother thing itself. It's like, let me think of something I like. Reading the Word, studying the Word is like having a big bowl of chili. I'm thinking of warm foods because it's about to get cold. Having a big bowl of chili and some cornbread. And then being creative with the Word is having like a nice slice of pumpkin bread with some chai tea. I like to make a pumpkin spice chai tea latte. That's my go-to. Like, when I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna have it good, because I can't have caffeine every day, or I would probably have that every single day. So that's kind of how I'm viewing my time in the Word and my time in His presence. And I'm really, for the first time, since, okay, let's just go with this year. For really one of the first times in this year, I just feel so good. I feel so good spiritually. I feel so good emotionally. Okay. Let me not get it twisted. I'm going through some things emotionally. God is really working some stuff out of me, and that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about. But I feel like me. I look in the mirror and I see me, and I just feel so good, and I feel so creative. And am I still having bad days? Of course I am. Yesterday was a rough day. I had so many plans, so many things I wanted to do yesterday, so many things that I wanted to accomplish, and I did nothing. I spent yesterday in bed. Just because I'm working through some very difficult emotional things right now, and I'm going through some stuff. But I am learning that just because I may be physically sad, just because I'm working through some difficult things, does not mean that I can't have joy, that I can't experience the joy of the Lord. So, girlfriend, why do you get like this when I come in here? I'm in every other room and she could care less, but when I come in here and the camera's on, that's when she wants to be like right at my feet. People probably think I'm so mean to Pika, but I hold her all the time, like all morning. I stayed in bed longer than I wanted to get out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I stayed in bed an extra hour and a half just to snuggle her. Like a whole hour and a half, I just snuggled with her and pet her and love her. And so it's not that she is deprived in any way whatsoever. She's the baby. She's the baby. She gets the loving. She gets the cuddles whenever she wants to. But right now, mommy is on the phone, okay? Whenever I'm on the phone talking to somebody, when I'm on here talking to somebody, or I'm recording a video, she has to be, oh, now you're going to play with my foot. Go ahead and play with my foot. I don't care. She has to be center of attention. She's just like that. So I did want to let you know that, I said I was going to be coming on here and doing more creative things, and I absolutely am. I have so many things planned. But yesterday was a bad day, and I just spent the day in bed. And sometimes we have those days, and I'm not going to shame myself for that. I'm not going to feel bad about myself for that. It's just, that's the day I had. That's the day that I had. I got lots of rest. And then later on in that night, I got up and I worked on her. So I wanted to draw the new me. And this is what I come up with thus far. So I'm not very great on drawing short hair. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. But that's about, actually my hair's a little bit longer than that. But yeah, so this is me. This is how I feel right now. And I need to sit and watercolor her in. And then I may put her in a frame and hang her up in my room somewhere, or just put her in a journal or something. I'm thinking I might hang her up or repaint her on a canvas. That's actually what I think I'll do. I'll put this one in a journal somewhere. And actually I'll put this one in my composition journal. Um, maybe I'll put that on the front page. That's actually what I'm going to do. And then I'll repaint it and put it on a canvas, and I'll hang the canvas up. So, where was that? Okay. So I am doing creative things. I am working on things. I'm working on the girls, and then I'll write the email. I'll go through my little notebook of pre-written devotionals that I had written and stuff like that, and I'll put that together, and hopefully before the end of the month you will have September's email, because this idea just came to me, just came into my head, because I was really praying, and I was just like, God, I still want I want to be used by you. Like, I have a great desire to be used by you, even though I know that right now I'm not starting any classes. I'm not starting any separate groups. I'm not doing none of that right now, because I'm still healing. But I still have such a great desire to work and to love people. Like, I just want to help people. I want to love people. Not that I'm some perfect anything, because I'm not. I'm struggling just like everybody else. Girlfriend, no, get down. But God just has birthed a desire in me to just love people, and so it's just like, how can I be a blessing? How can I be a blessing to these people who have just been there for me and encouraged me, and he was the one that gave me the idea, because I actually, back in the day, I used to write. I've had several of my poems published. I did it under a pen name, and I'm so mad because I can't remember the pen name and I can't find them. But I had written a book, and I was too afraid to get it published, and I was just about to go and send it to a publisher, and my computer crashed, along with the entire book that took me 2 years to write. So it's been very difficult for me to get back to any of that, because yeah, that hurt pretty good. But if the Lord, I know he gave me that gift for a reason, so if he ever leads me back to that, I will. But I was just praying and just asking him, like, Lord, what could I do? How can I serve you? And he gave me the idea of writing a letter of encouragement, and sending some of my artwork and just giving back to the community. I was like, oh, you're so brilliant, Jesus. That's such a good idea. So that's something I was going to do. And without getting into too much, trying to be wise and watch my words, and not get into talking about things that, I still have open wounds about, and I don't want to, God has just gone through and taken out all those roots of bitterness. I do not want to replant nothing by hashing it out again or talking about it. But without saying too much. In my old church, not the church I just came from, but the church before that, when I lived in Montana with Rocky, and then the church before that, which was the church I grew up in, I was a part of so much. Like, I led the children's ministry. I taught every single grade of children's church that there was. I was very involved. And then I did something called miming, which is where you take a song and you sign it. Like, I would mix sign language with expressive movement, and that was something that God really had anointed me to do, and I loved it. I learned it years and years ago. I learned this song from my mom, and I did it in church, and ever since then, like, the church would be like, oh, will you do this, and I never thought nothing of it. And then I went to my husband's church, and I was like, oh, they said, well, do you want to do anything, because they had specials. The church we went to last, it was such a big church, so of course they didn't have specials, because we would be there all day. It's not because they thought that nobody else deserved. It wasn't nothing like that. It was nothing like that. It was such a big church, and I'd have been too scared to get up in front of everybody and do that anyways. But I really like it. The other churches, I would play guitar. I would get up there and sing. I don't sing no more. I don't do that anymore because I cannot carry a tune. I used to be able to, but I do not. I am not blessed with that gift anymore. But miming was something that I loved. Teaching children's church was something that I loved. And I probably could have gotten into those things at this church, but I just didn't. There was just so many people there, and I felt like I was just relearning everything again. So I didn't feel like, I was in the place to try to do any of those things. And I'm not saying this to down anybody or to down any church. This is just me saying, I miss those things. I miss being involved in those things. And as for right now, it's hard for us to go to any church because, I have my problems. Some days I wake up exhausted. Some days I wake up with my heart palpitating. Rocky always has his problems in the morning time. So it's hard for us to go to any church, really. But I was just like, God, like, I miss those things. I miss the miming, especially. I miss that especially. And I was talking to Rocky about that. This video is covering nothing that I meant for it to cover. So there will be a second one, probably. I was talking to Rocky about that. And he said, why don't you do that on YouTube or Instagram? I said, I will not do it on Instagram for certain reasons. I don't want to just go block people. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that kind of person. So I would not do that on Instagram. But I wondered if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing. Because for a long time, that was such a huge part of my life. Like, I loved being used in the church. I loved it. I loved the children's ministry. I did the children's songs. I taught the children, like, I didn't teach them sign language but I did, like, teach them kind of motions, like almost like miming to their different songs. And it was such a fun part of my life. Oh my gosh. And I miss it. And I don't know when we will ever be able to go back to a church. But I still want to use some of those things that God put in me. And I still want to use them. And I still want to I want to still practice those things. It's still in my heart. Like, I was listening to a song yesterday, a song that I love so much, and it makes me cry every time I listen to it. And it's by Tasha Cobbs. It's called He Knows My Name. Oh my goodness. And I thought, man, I would love to do like a mime to that. And I already started looking some of the things up and things like that. And I remember, not that I'm any great thing, but God would use me. I remember God would use me powerfully when I would do those things, and it would touch people. And I remember that, and I was like, Lord, maybe doing this type of worship, which that's what it is, it's worship. Maybe doing this type of worship online, maybe it will help somebody. Maybe it'll touch somebody's heart. And so I play around with the thought of having some sort of worship online. Some sort of, like, where I just, even if I just came on and shared a mime or something with you guys, Would you be interested in that? Is that something that you would even be interested in? I'm still going to be sharing all the artsy craftsy stuff. Still going to come on here and have just these conversations with you guys. But that's a part of my life that I miss. That's a big part of my life, and I really miss it. I really miss just, I feel like I'm not a type of person to come and say, "Oh, I feel anointed. Like I'm this and this or such and so," because I'm not. I in myself, I am nothing. Like I am so flawed. I am nothing without Jesus, and I know that. I've been through enough things to know that I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing without him. But I really felt that worship, I felt that it was anointed. I felt that God had anointed me to do that. And I don't feel to go do that at a church right now. But part of me really feels like maybe I will go find a place online where I can do that. And so I wanted to check with you guys first to see if that's something that you would be interested in. I feel like there is this whole side of me, and I'm not talking about my past or the sinful, like y'all definitely don't know nothing about it. I could tell you some stories, and I've had people say to me, "There's no way, not you. There's no way." God has brought me through some stuff. I am not the same Christina that I once was at all. Praise God. I do not want to look like her. I don't want to act like her. I don't want to nothing. When I say look like her, I don't mean it in like hairstyle and stuff, because but I mean like in how I treated people, how I talked, how I acted, how I carried myself. I don't want to ever be her again. But I mean spiritually, there's a side of me that y'all just don't know. I'm sure maybe some of you, but most of you didn't know that I used to play guitar, and I used to write songs, and I used to sing in church, and I used to do all those things. And I'm just like, Lord, I want to get back to whatever of that you want me to keep, you want me to be, open it. But whatever that is just closed for now, let that be done. But I just feel like, Lord, and this is going to ruffle some feathers when I say this. The church building isn't the church. We, the body of Christ, we are the church. The apostles didn't go to a building. They went to each other's houses. They fellowshiped with each other in each other's houses, in secret, mind you, because at the time, it was illegal. It was illegal to be a Christian. They didn't have church services. So much. Okay, do not get on your soapbox. But I'll say this. So much of today's Christianity are just traditions passed down by man. Girl, you're just so much today. I love you to pieces, but if you don't get off my desk, girlfriend, come here. Come here. Come here, you little turd. Come here. Come here. Come on, mommy. Come on. Sit in my lap. Sit down. Sit down. I'll give you a snuggle. Sit down. No, you don't need to be on my desk. It's on my lap or on the floor. Pick one. Pick one. I'm sorry, my nose always itches. It's where I live. My face, my skin, it always itches because of allergies. My mom told me one time, you look like you're on crack because you're always doing this. But my face itches all the time, nonstop. My skin is always dry. What was I even saying? I don't even know. But yeah, I wanted to ask you guys about that. I wanted to ask you if you'd be girlfriend. Do you see her? But I just want to ask you if you'd be interested in that, if you would want to see if you'd want to see the miming, I love you too. You the baby? Are you the baby? I know her the baby. She knows she's the baby too. She knows she's the baby. Oh, you guys, I was gonna come on here and talk about something totally different. But it's already 25 minutes, so let me just go because this isn't gonna upload till tonight, maybe tomorrow sometime because of my internet. Girlfriend, get down there. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon.